Townsville, Queensland, Australia, 2018. Two ninth graders under the names John Wobb and Bob Knob decide to form a band in their Pimlico State High School graphics class. What they didn't know at the time is that this band would go on to become a legendary act in underground music that would forever shape music after this point. So why does nobody know this band? Well, let's get into it. On a boring day in their Year 9 graphics class, John Wobb and Bob Knob decided to come up with funny song names for their band. However, they did not have a band up to this point and had no creative outlet for their bad ideas. So the two decided to form a band and named it the Obs. This was due to their false names both ending in Ob, being John Wobb and Bob Knob. Within just a few months of this, the group had already recorded their debut album, Obsolete, which released on October 31st, 2018. This was followed by their sophomore album, Come to the Circus, released in December of that year. It was only the end of the year and the band had already released 2 albums, a full live performance, and performed on the James Corden Show. The band were underground but beginning to make waves in the Townsville scene where they were from. The following year would begin with them releasing their third album, We Are Indians, on February 9th, 2019. This is still highly regarded today as one of the group's greatest albums. 2019 would also begin what was known as the golden era of the Obs, with them releasing 10 albums this year. At some point near the end of 2019, it would be revealed that John Wobb would be leaving Townsville and moving to the edge of the state. This put a tremendous strain on the creative process of the Obs. At around this time, John Wobb also had the idea to create a double-sided concept album called The Obs Come Down / Crushed in the Mainframe. Rigorous work had to be done to ensure that this album would be released on January 1st, 2020. John Wobb would leave town in November 2019, and the album was just finished on time for release on New Year's Day. The Obs Come Down / Crush in the Mainframe would go on to become the Obs' most revered album. It would showcase the Obs' ability to create incredible musical dichotomy in their music, being able to span genre as far as noise rock to beautiful Smiths-type ballads. It showed the world that the Obs were a band to be taken seriously, a force to be reckoned with in the independent music scene. The Obs Come Down / Crush in the Mainframe was also the Obs' first release on their own record label, Obs Entertainment Incorporated, and also the first one on Van Ryan's label, Wat Fank Productions. Beyond the album at the start of the year, 2020 marked a blank period in the Obs' discography, only releasing non-musical related projects. It wouldn't be until July of the following year where the Obs would release their new single, Cunt Rock Shuffle. The song released decent reviews from audiences and critics, however, it was not the biggest thing that the Obs had done up to this point. On December 5th, 2021, the Obs released their 13th album, Too Snotty to Live, which was a complete departure from the sound of all the previous Obs records up to this time, relying much more on sampling. With the Obs being separated, it was difficult to record new music and come up with new ideas. This led to what is called the worst era of the Obs' discography, the Forgotten Era. In 2022, one album was released, Bringing Braille Back, and while this was believed by most people to be a decent album, it did not reach its full potential that the band wished it did. 2023 was considered the worst year for the Obs, having released their 2 worst albums, Curry and Kinetic Experiments. These albums were panned and had poor reviews from audiences and critics alike. It is generally considered their worst material up to this point. In mid-2023, good news would come the Obs' way, however, when John Wobb would be returning to Townsville and rejoining the Obs as a physical member. There was a controversy when he first arrived back, as when he took Modern Gestures member Cohen Monahan hostage with a baseball bat during a band rehearsal. This, however, quickly blew over, and fans were now excited that the Obs were truly back. Nirvana, Limp Bizkit, and the Modern Gestures. What do all of these bands have in common? All three of their frontmen have cited the Obs as one of their most major influences. This can be heard on songs from all of these bands. The guitar line of 1991's Smells Like Teen Spirit being a direct lift of the Obs' 2019 single, Something Shitter. Lead singer of the Modern Gestures, Charlie Kirtland, once said, "The Obs are the greatest band who ever came out of Townsville. They are gods, they are rulers, they are the greatest musicians who will ever live." In the years since their formation in their grade 9 graphics class, the Obs have grown a very dedicated fan base in the music scene. Obs fans are extremely dedicated to the band and are generally considered one of the smartest fan bases in the music scene. With rumours of the release of the Obs' 18th album this year, fans are excited as to where the band are going to go next, whether they will recapture that 2019 golden era or fall further into mediocrity as they have in the last few years. But no matter what way it goes, it cannot be denied that the Obs are one of the most influential underground acts that have ever existed in independent music and have influenced countless bands, even more than the ones that were mentioned here, and in my opinion are one of the greatest bands who will ever live. That is the story of the greatest band you have never heard.